Welcome back to another Rise of the Witch King commentary. This is a 1v1 game on a map called West Emnet 2. And you can see it definitely looks pretty different than some of the other maps you may have seen me cover. I don't believe I've done a cast on this map, but this should certainly be very interesting. We have Elves versus Mordor, as you can see from the Eye of Sauron there. At the bottom we have Bushit, who's Elves. And at the top, we have MauHuR, who is Mordor. And this is a Clan Wars game, so it's pretty competitive. MauHuR starting with a Horadrim Palace. An interesting start against his Elven opponent. And Bushit here starting with Barracks as Elves. So it does look like MauHuR is going to be going for fast Lancers. Or really a Lancer start by the looks of it. So that's going to be interesting to see. Horadrim Lancers are actually pretty weak as far as cavalry go, but they're quite useful nonetheless. At least when it comes to harassing and that sort of thing. And of course they are very fast, so MauHuR is going to have to use their speed to his advantage. Now let's take a look here at their different situations. So we can see here, actually, Bushit, he picked Farsight as his first power, so he knows exactly what his opponent is doing in his base. And of course, we know MauHuR picked the Eye of Sauron because he actually scouted Bushit at the beginning. If we actually take a look at their economy, right now MauHuR is at 350 command points. Bushit's at 400, slightly ahead. So you can use that to determine how fast they're expanding. And of course, the command point limit is a very important number because it determines how big your armies can be, really. I see that Bushit left a builder here. I wonder why. That's interesting. Now, to just give a kind of a topological overview of the map, we do have Warglairs here, so on the left side and on the right side. So the players will need to watch out if they're sending units past there. We actually have an inn here at the bottom right with the cave troll guarding it, and the same thing in the bottom or in the top left. So these could be useful for the players to get. We can see Bushit is actually, this is interesting. He went for Mithlond. Oh, of course, he knows that MauHuR is going for Lancers because he scouted his base. So he started with Pikemen, which is definitely a good idea. He does have some Lorien archers. He's going to need to get some Pikemen to support them, though. He's getting Lorien warriors for some reason, even though he knows his opponent only really has cavalry right now. That's a bit strange. Probably not really very useful. They can be trampled very easily. He will need the sentries to protect his archers, though, and MauHuR's cavalry in quite a lot of trouble here, surrounded. They're going to take heavy damage. Didn't even manage to take out that tree, because unfortunately for MauHuR, he had no way of knowing that there were pikes right here because they happened to be creeping nearby. And again, I'm not sure if this is the best idea here, just sending warriors. And okay, he's sending his pikes to support them. Good. He's meeting up, so that's good. He just needs to be careful with dealing with MauHuR's forces here. MauHuR has some Easterlings, which he can access very quickly since they're available. A level 1, of course, from the Horadrim Palace. You can see Bushit is at 1 power point right now, almost 2. He's up to 500, his command point limit. MauHuR is at 400. But he has 2 power points. We can see there cavalry trying to trample, but getting killed. Still managed to do a little bit of damage, but it is an expensive loss for MauHuR. They're not cheap. It costs, of course, it's actually 450 resources for 1 Lancer unit, as you can see there. Why did I always think it was 500? That just threw me off when I read it. I was expecting to say 500, and no, it's 450. Huh. I should pay more attention, I guess. I don't use Lancers very often. I just hate the Horadrim version so much, even though I really should be using them. MauHuR still managing things with just a few Easterlings. Now building an Orc pit. You can see Bushit just running around the entire base, taking out slaughterhouses where he can. Over here, it looks like MauHuR has actually captured this inn, and he's going to build more Easterlings out of it, and he's going to finally attack Bushit's base here. The problem with facing elves, though, is they have some pretty good archers, and they're pretty good at defending. But MauHuR might be able to do a little bit of damage, and it looks like Glorfindel showed up. Almost had an accident there with the pikes going by, but he stopped and is dismounting, and he's going to be a huge threat now. The Mouth of Sauron's actually on the field. Level 3 already, killing everything he can. Definitely a good choice. The Mouth of Sauron is a fantastic hero, and Glorfindel is also a fantastic hero, so it's going to be interesting to see the two of them. Both of them can mount, so, you know, they can harass pretty effectively and deal with any cavalry. And, uh-oh, careful there. Ran into a few pikes. And it looks like he's heading straight to the inn. Bushit seems to be aware that this inn was taken. He's going to destroy it by the looks of it. And that's what he's working on right now. Meanwhile, his attack in the north has been repelled. MauHuR moving with just Easterlings. But he's going to mix up his units, get a bit of variety. Now he has his Orc pit ready. And he has Orc warriors. And you can mix things up with that. The problem is, right now... Oh, that was a good use of the Mouth of Sauron's ability. I think it's called Doubt. What is it called? Yes, Doubt. Level 4 ability, which reduces enemy armor and damage. And he's buffing his own units with Mouth of... Or not the Mouth of Sauron, with the Eye of Sauron. Which gave him a huge upper hand in this situation. Bushit can still use archers very effectively, though. MauHuR has no archers right now. So, Bushit does have a chance to repel this, and he has Glorfindel. Glorfindel is still level 1. And everybody is fighting. And it looks like Bushit's letting his archers get hit here. They're really close to the front lines. He's going to retreat them wisely. And he has a statue built up already. He's forced to play defense. This attack will be stopped. But the problem is, and oh, Glorfindel actually took a lot of damage from the Mouth of Sauron there. The problem is, though, that MauHuR is going to attack with more units. You can actually see he's building Corsairs. I guess from his Horadrim Palace, of course, because he, for some reason, I got confused again and thought that Mordor had that as a in unit, but no, they don't. They have Easterlings, of course, as we saw him building earlier. I believe this is destroyed now. Yep, and Bushit actually built a Maloran tree. Let's take a look at their situation again. 9 power points for Bushit. Really close to his 10-point power. He, of course, has Farsight as his starting power. He has 700 command points using 251. He has plenty of room, and he can build up quite a lot. A decent amount of resources. I wonder if he's saving up for a hero or if he's just cash floating a bit. He could upgrade a barracks. He could, if he isn't already. Or he could be saving up for a hero. Okay, he has 10 points now. Now, MauHuR has only 500 maximum command points, spending all his resources effectively, though. He actually picked War Chant as his second power, and it only has 5 power points left over. So still some way off from the 10 points. Still waiting for Bushit to pick his 10-point power. It'll be interesting to see what it's going to be. And this is a good opportunity for Glorfindel, who is low on health, but he's against some swordsmen here, so he should be able to deal with them pretty easily. I don't find Corsairs super useful in 4.0, just because their fire bombs are at level 2. But they can still do decent damage with their melee attack. And I'm not really sure why Glorfindel is not running into them. Like, he's just falling behind for some reason. They're not taking any damage. It's a bit strange. Well, anyway, let's figure out what's happening here. And we can see MauHuR is massing his forces on the left here. He has some more forces. He has orcs. Took the signal fire. There is a signal fire in the middle of the map. This will help his powers recharge a bit faster, which is always good. I feel like players always underestimate the importance of signal fires because they don't give you that immediate return. Inns let you build units. Outposts give you resources right off the bat. Signal fires are not as visible in the reward that they provide, but they're not unimportant. They're very important. And it's definitely a good idea to grab one if you can, and MauHuR did. And being able to use powers more frequently has a huge impact on the game because some powers are really strong. And keep in mind, of course, especially when you get to the 15 and 25 point powers, those are game-changing powers. Having those recharge fast is definitely good. Now we see in the top left, bushit actually gained control of the inn, and he has a couple of units. He's building some hobbits. Actually, he has 1 unit of hobbits, and waiting to see more. Now MauHuR is moving in for an attack. We have forces on the right here going for the MauHuR. We have a level 2 barracks in danger being upgraded to level 3. No Mirkwood archers. That is a bit strange. Did not build any Mirkwood archers, went straight for level 3, and he's about to lose it by the looks of it. Meanwhile, his army is distracted with the attack on the left, and MauHuR is just looking like he is going to take this game at this rate, because he really has put bushit in a bad spot. You need those Mirkwood archers as elves. They make such a huge difference. If you fail to get them, it can be a huge problem. Although in this case, it looks like bushit was just going straight for Noldor's. And he might be able to... Actually, yeah, his barracks might actually survive this. It looked a bit more dangerous early on, but most of these units were killed off. And yeah, now it looks like it's safe with about half health remaining. Bushit did survive this. I think that was Elven Mist that was used, which debuffs enemy units and stealths your own units. So you can see right here. And he actually has heal as well. So he has 2 5-point powers and a 10-point. MauHuR picked industry as his 10-point, so each player having 2 5-point powers and a 10-point. Now that industry, of course, is very good for the economy. Gives a 300% resource boost to 1 resource building to 1 slaughterhouse. It's temporary, but it lasts. You can just recast it as soon as it recharges. And MauHuR has 600 command points. Only about halfway. He's losing units. He's going to be at about 300 out of 600. Spending his resources as well. Has about 2 power points now to spare, saving up for the next power. Bushit is at 6 power points, though, while having the same number and same style of powers. So he is a bit ahead of him power points, and he has 800 command points. He's actually doing really well. And now he's been attacking here on the left. As you can see, we have Harajim archers on the field. Very powerful. And yeah, his attack doesn't seem to have done a whole lot. But you can see his command point limit is just fantastic. Now MauHuR chose this slaughterhouse to use industry on, which I don't know if it's necessarily the best one, because the ones at the back might be harder to actually access for the opponent. But it could work out pretty well if he protects it carefully. Now, the problem is Glorfindel's here, and oh yeah, this is going to be a huge problem. He might lose this actually, unless he gets his units back, and he has to be very careful. I can't click it for some reason. There we go. It's taking a huge amount of damage from Glorfindel. We have Noldor's by the looks of it, because I saw the little yellow or gold special effect. Yeah, we have Noldor's. And the slaughterhouse with industry is going to go down. Again, it probably would have helped MauHuR if he picked one of the ones at the back, because it's harder for Bushit's army to go around and get away with reaching all the way to the back of that base. We have a Haldir, of course, on the field. He's been on the field for some time. He's level 5, almost level 6, where he gains his leadership. That's going to be useful, but he's probably going to die here unless he retreats. The Mouth of Sauron, of course, can chase him down by mounting and going after him, but it looks like he's not going to do that. And instead, he's going to fight the Noldors. He's going to use his Evil Eye ability, doing a lot of damage to the Noldors, but forced to retreat at low health. And of course, Bushit already has reinforcements. He has pikes here, so it's not going to work out if he did send the Mouth of Sauron. If MauHuR did send out the Mouth of Sauron after Haldir. So both Haldir and Glorfindel are saved. They're now healed with the heal power. And things are looking good for them. The Mouth of Sauron, of course, is on low health and cannot be healed by similar means, because Mordor doesn't have access to a heal power. Lots of Harajim archers, unprotected, just asking to be trampled by cavalry, but I do not think Bushit actually has cavalry. I think it's always useful to have at least 1 or 2 units of cavalry for cases like this, because you can see they're just exposed. And that's like, how many units are there? 2 or 3? No, I think there's 3, just one of them is not level 2. Yeah, no, this one's level 2. No, that one, yeah, that one's not level 2. So there are 3 Harajim archers. That's 1,500 resources worth of archers. Their price was increased in 2.02, 4.0 to 500, which I think was their original price. in 2.01? I think it was. Anyway, they're really powerful, so that price makes sense. But yeah, they can still die quite easily to cavalry. And bushit is just moving all his forces on the right side of the map. He's taking a gamble here that this is going to be the best approach, but for some reason his units are really... I guess he just has Glorfindel and Haldir and a few units up here and slowly bringing in reinforcements. He has more Noldors and Pikes on their way. And we haven't really seen a lot of Mirkwood Archers, I think. Noldors are, of course, very powerful. It just seems strange to rush them the way he did. But they're certainly going to prove very useful. The thing to keep in mind is that Mordor has weak units anyway. And you don't necessarily need the extra strength from Noldors. At least not if you're going to delay getting elite archers for them by skipping Mirkwood Archers completely. Now it looks like bushit actually tried to set up a base here, a forward base, just slightly ahead of his own base. Lost the builder, lost his statue, just like he just lost everything around there. MauHuR pushed in through the middle. And now bushit is trying to attack from the right, but he's being repelled by MauHuR's extensive forces. MauHuR is just spamming tons of archers, and he doesn't need a lot of units to support them to act as a meat shield. The archers are really the heavy damage dealers here. And we can see MauHuR is actually attacking. We actually have a worm summon. If we quickly take a look at powers, yes, MauHuR does have the 15-point worm ability. And this is going to take down this level 3 barracks. A disastrous situation for bushit, because he cannot build Mirkwood Archers or Noldor Warriors anymore. And actually, even this barracks is in a lot of trouble, but it might, yeah, it's going to survive. It's fine. The worm went down very quickly. bushit repelled that attack, but MauHuR is coming again from this side, and he still has his forces on the left, which are actually retreating. Actually, there's just a few orcs. But he has Gothmog, he has the Mouth of Sauron. They're in aggressive stance, not good. Okay, now in battle stance. But the Mouth of Sauron just couldn't make it. There were so many units attacking him. Gothmog gets away unscathed. We have Cloudbreak. bushit got his 15-point power. And actually, he has all 3 5-point powers. And actually, did he get Rallying Call as his 3rd 5-point power? Because I thought he started with Farsight and then he got Heal. Now, if that's the case, that's definitely unusual. Because Rallying Call is usually one of the earliest powers you get. If not first, and often the 2nd power. Now, command point wise, you can see, again, bushit still has the advantage on that. Which is interesting because MauHuR seems to have more map control right now. So it's what's possible here is, yes, we have a level 3 Malorn tree right here. An important target for MauHuR, although he's destroyed everything around in the front. bushit's still managing. Oh yes, it's just not showing on the mini-map. But you can see he actually has Malorn trees all over this side of the map. On the right. Actually, oh, that's just the inn. Yeah, they're not showing for some reason on the mini-map, so it can be difficult to see why things like this are happening. We have a level 2 orc unit trying to get away from these guys to attack another Malorn tree. Now, bushit has the signal fire now. MauHuR is just going right by it. He's going to have to take it at some point. He's certainly in a position to do so. Glorfindel, level 8, gained tons of experience. It looks like he's chasing Gothmog using his Wind Rider ability, which makes him even faster. And he almost has Blade of Purity, and he's going to use it. Now it's charged. He's going to chase Gothmog down, do a lot of damage because he's flanking Gothmog. Gothmog might actually die here. Yep, it looks like he is going to die. There just weren't any units there to stop Glorfindel. But now Glorfindel needs to really retreat at some point soon. But I guess there's only a couple of pikes attacking him, so it's not the end of the world. He can tank it a bit. But he needs to be careful with him. Nonetheless, especially once these abilities run out, because right now he's a lot stronger with Wind Rider and Blade of Purity. But yeah, they both ran out now. So he's going to be more vulnerable. I think bushit's still building hobbits. Meanwhile, on this side, MauHuR never rebuilt the inn, but he's been destroying all these Malorn trees. bushit's command point limit must be dropping. It's now 450. Dramatically changed things. bushit also has about 1,000 resources. It'll be interesting to see what he's planning. He has 9 power points. He'll need 25 for the 25-point tier. MauHuR, meanwhile, he actually has Arrow Volley. So he has 2 10-point powers. He's got almost 3 power points saved up. He's got 800, his command point limit, and it's almost full. So right now, MauHuR looking a lot better than bushit in terms of how big his army can be. However, this can be really difficult for Mordor having to deal with these elite archers. Glorfindel's massive trouble. What is he doing? Ran the wrong way. Almost died, but a fast heal helped him out there. We have Mordor catapults, which are on the field now. Cost 500 resources in 2.02 4.0. I think originally in 2.01 they were something like 300. Much more expensive now. They are very powerful, especially against armies. They of course have their secondary attack as well. I don't know what it's actually called, but they basically throw skulls at their enemies, which cause them to flee in terror. Mouth of Sauron in massive trouble. I do not know what he's doing. He's standing there. He needs to get out. He needs to get out right now. And he might die. He needs to keep moving. He stopped moving, but it looks like bushit's retreating, so he's lucky. He got away with that one. Not only did he take a lot of damage from pikes initially, but then of course the Noldors were hammering him as he was trying to run away. They have a very large attack range. And again, MauHuR here with the advantage on the right side of the map. Bushit attempting something from the left with one Noldor and one Nithon sentry. A force just large enough to harass, really, but not large enough to do much else. And he still controls this inn, but hasn't really... doesn't really have many hobbits left. MauHuR still has not rebuilt this inn. Of course, it's close to bushit's base, so it would be difficult to hold. And we can see bushit here has another level 3 barracks. Actually, that might have been his original, or the one that was level 1 before. Might have been rebuilt. He has 2 barracks again. In any case, working on upgrades, building on a region forge. We can see he upgraded his fortress very well here. He has the floodgates expansion, which should deter any melee attacks on these barracks. And a few towers, just in case a fell beast shows up. Definitely good thinking. MauHuR upgraded, got the armor upgrade for his fortress. Might be working on the Gorgoth Spire, maybe. Who knows? Of course, that ability can kill a whole enemy army. He has 2 Haradrim palaces. Again, we have that bug where I can't click on them properly for some reason. He has 2 orc pits, and he's building catapults. And now MauHuR moving with 2 orcs on the left. He might go after this inn. And it looks like he is. He's going to have to deal with some hobbits first. But he's also moving in the middle of lots of units, especially lots of Haradrim archers, a few orcs, some Easterlings. A good use of Cloud Break by bushit. MauHuR tries to use Arrow Volley, and the Mirkwood archers ran right into it. I think the problem was that bushit was running north, then he pressed X, and his archers, to spread out, started running south, which was the wrong direction. They just went right into the Arrow Volley instead of avoiding it. If he had just kept going north, he would have avoided it without needing any X. Glorfindel using both of his abilities, which are causing him to tank damage really well. It looks like he might be targeting the catapult, but he's going to take a lot of damage, and that ability is about to run out, both of them actually. And the Mouth of Sauron's still on the field. He's going to lose Glorfindel unless he gets out of there right now. And I'm not sure if the Mouth of Sauron can chase him down. Haldir taking a little bit of damage here. Level 9. Looking in good shape, but he needs to get out before he loses all his health. Mouth of Sauron is riding down the Noldors. We have pikes here. Mouth of Sauron forced to retreat. And that is the current situation. Where's Glorfindel? Where is Glorfindel? Did he die? Did I miss it? I heard a worm. And oh, Haldir went down by that. The worm summoned and Haldir instantly died. He was knocked down and finished off. And this worm is just going to finish off the rest of these guys. And it can move on towards bushit's base now. It's going to reposition itself using that ability. And it's still going after these units. You have level 5 Noldors, and one of them just barely gets out. Might have a chance to... Actually, 2 of them now. They have a chance to heal and replenish their forces. And bushit's going to lose this barracks by the looks of it, unless he takes out that catapult. Glorfindel is still around, and he's going to go after it. But look how much damage that was done. He did lose, and that's the barrage ability. Another 15-point power. Just devastating amounts of damage done to bushit. This is going to be difficult to recover from. He has all 3 5-point powers. He has 10-point Enshrouding Mist. He has the 15-point Cloud Break, and he's got 23 points, 2 more. Then he can get his 25-point power. MauHuR, meanwhile, he does have 2 5-point powers, 2 10-point powers. Of course, we've just seen Barrage, we've seen the Worm, and he's far away from his 25-point power. But bushit's quite close. 925 maximum command points, in an excellent position to be in. And was that Gollum? Yes, Gollum is over there, if anybody wants to get him. This inn's still up. MauHuR never went after it, but then the hobbits never really posed a threat. And bushit still has he has some Malorn trees on the right here that MauHuR could target, and it looks like he is going to send some units towards the right, but he's going to run into some Mirkwood archers. And again, lots of units, lots of orcs. There goes that Noldor. And this one's going to retreat. bushit's definitely going to have a hard time trying to recover from this. MauHuR is just playing very well. Glorfindel trying to do whatever damage he can, almost level 10. He can still harass some of these buildings. And we have a fell beast. We have, which one is it? Morgomir Kummel. Morgomir is on the field. And it's about to die. That went well. Yep, Mirkwood archers. A huge threat. I think the biggest reason we saw MauHuR delay his fell beast this long is because it's just really difficult to use a fell beast against elves. All it takes is one unit of Mirkwood archers hit them with rallying call or something. In this case, there wasn't even any rallying call. They were just standing here in the trees, and I'm actually not sure if the trees make any difference because they're always stealthed, so probably doesn't matter for Mirkwood archers. But anyway, the point is, yeah, they can do a lot of damage, and they killed that fell beast. A huge loss for MauHuR, but he does have a huge advantage in this game right now. He could afford to take his chances with that. He still has 1,100 resources, 950 maximum command points, now at 10 points. 15 more for his 25-point power. Okay, the Mouth of Sauron's level 9, almost level 10, but almost dead. Needs to, I would just send him back to his base to retreat. Because you actually see bushit is advancing with a couple of archers with no other protection whatsoever. And yeah, that's it. Really, he has no pikes. Not that they would really help too much, but looks like the flood, the 25-point power was used. bushit has purchased it, and he has used it on MauHuR's base. Did a huge amount of damage. Took out that level 3 Harajim Palace that was causing him so many problems with those Harajim archers being spawned there. You can see MauHuR's fortress being upgraded. And bushit is just trying to sit at a safe distance, attacking from afar. Only Glorfindel really coming close because he can tank the damage. Now level 10. And now MauHuR's army is coming in full force. You can see where MauHuR expanded, actually, around the north side of the map. And that was another arrow volley. But I think that was combined with Starlight to keep those guys alive. And Gothmog dies almost instantly. Level 7 Noldors, they can use their Weapon Song ability. That is a huge ability. And that was the Elven Cloak used to save those Mirkwood archers from complete destruction. They're now completely invisible as long as they stand still. Now they're moving, and now they're going to move forward instead of retreating? Really? They should be retreating. They do not have much they can do here. Oh, actually, well, I guess never mind. That was actually stupid now when I think about it, because he still had... For some reason, I just assumed the rest of his army was dead, even though clearly he still had a few Noldors. I don't know why I assumed... Yeah, anyway, never mind. Mirkwood archers are fine, but they're going to take a lot of damage from those catapults. These Noldors now... Actually, one of them did use their... Yeah, they did use their Weapon Song. And now they're just trying to attack whatever they can around the edges. MauHuR is slowly rebuilding everything he can. bushit at 735 command points. He's recovering. He has another 13 power points. This will be very useful. MauHuR 825, 1100 command points. Actually, bushit has 2000 now. A lot of command points, or a lot of resources. 14 points there. So it'll be interesting to see what happens next. MauHuR here has been expanding on the right, well, up to here anyway. And bushit has been expanding on the left, almost all the way to MauHuR's base. The center mostly ignored, just because it's so easy for somebody to just show up with an army, I guess. Or it's just the expected route of attack. This inn is still under bushit's control. And bushit has quite a few units here to hold that area. Now I wonder what MauHuR is working towards now. I feel like this is a difficult matchup for Mordor, because those elite archers that Elves have are just so difficult to deal with. Those catapults are pretty much one of the best things you can try to do. I mean, if you try to go for, say, Muma kill, they die pretty fast to archers. At least certainly elite archers like these guys. If you try to go for Harajam archers, that's even worse. Or Harajam lancers, that is, that's even worse. Harajam archers are inferior to Mirkwood archers. We see the skulls attack. And what is that? What is he doing? That was a risky strategy, but they're level 5. That wasn't going to work. Level 5 and level 9 Noldors. They were probably level 8 or something until they leveled up. But they were, once they hit level 5, they're immune to fear. So that was a miscalculation by MauHuR. I don't think he noticed that they were so high level. Because if he had, he would not have brought his Fell Beast right there. That was already risky to begin with. We have an Eagle summon. bushit going for the 15-point Eagles easily take out all the catapults. Just attacking everything they can. bushit has 800 and what is this? He has 4,000 resources, 810 max command points. He still has about 300 to spare. You can see his powers right here, all 35-point powers. He's got Enshrouding Mist, he's got the Eagles and the Cloud Break 15-point powers and the Flood, which is of course 25 points. MauHuR now at 16 points, 9 points till his 25-point power. 925 max command points, really keeping that up, but with only 1,000 resources. And we're seeing bushit actually retreating towards the left. MauHuR coming back with a huge army. He's getting revenge now. But he has a lot of archers. Not really enough of a force to do a lot of damage to buildings here, but he's got the Mouth of Sauron, I suppose. He's not going to be attacking bushit's base with that. Well, he's not the buildings. The Mouth of Sauron actually taking a fair amount of damage. It's being targeted by these guys. The pikes were targeted specifically first so that the Mouth of Sauron can charge in, but now it's retreating. Level 10 Noldors. Wow. Level 10. And uh-oh. Some forces right here. They can't even retreat properly without running into MauHuR. MauHuR is advancing. And now turning around. We have Gothmog, we have the Mouth of Sauron. Again, Fell Beasts are just going to have a hard time in this matchup. And look at Gothmog, he's getting murdered. He's going to die. Or maybe not, he got away. And that worked out. It looks like, yep. bushit used, I think he just purchased that arrow volley, combined with a cloud break to stun those units. We have another worm summon. bushit's forces scattering. MauHuR at 20 points, 5 more points to go. He's hit his command point limit of 1,000. In a 1x 1v1 game, you can go up to 1,000. 2,500 resources. He can buy another Fell Beast if he wants to. But Mouth of Sauron in trouble. Was that Legolas who used something? Because I saw... Oh, actually, no. It was Haldir's level 10. Golden Arrow. I just heard the sound. I didn't actually notice the beam. Kind of sounded the same. And there goes the Mouth of Sauron. He's down. MauHuR is going to have to rebuild him. And look how many resources he has. Almost 4,000. We did see bushit having 4,000 earlier. He still has 4,500 resources with 850 max command points. Only using 550 of that. He still has a little bit to spare. And MauHuR could really build a lot more units than he is right now. He actually could use industry, he really should, to improve his economy. He's not using the industry power, you should constantly be using it. You should never keep it just charged for a long time, and now he used it. 24 points, we're going to see a 25-point power in a second. 25 points. And we have the Rain of Fire. And it's going to be used right here. Right on Bushit's army, which is now gone. And MauHuR is going to take the opportunity to actually attack the base with 2 catapults. And he's going straight for... The Floodgates expansion is down. He's attacking the fortress. And Bushit really doesn't have a lot left. Look at MauHuR's army. He's just moving around. They're everywhere, taking out all the Malorn trees. This builder is going to go down, and he's got more units moving down. There's somebody over here, another builder trying to retreat. And meanwhile, these catapults are just hammering this fortress. But Glorfindel is here. He's going to take out these catapults pretty easily. MauHuR is going to show up with reinforcements very quickly. So both Glorfindel and Haldir, level 10. I'm not sure why Bushit's not building a hero or something. You can get Elrond, you can get Legolas.
What are we building?
I mean, he has tons of money, and he has really no unit production buildings right now until he rebuilds them. This situation is screaming for a hero, a top tier hero, a tier 5 hero. MauHuR almost maxed out on his command points. Spent some more resources, still has 1,400 left over. Look at Bushit right now. I'm not sure what he's doing, but he's got 5,500 resources and he's not spending them. He has almost no army, so he needs to rebuild everything very quickly. But he should be getting heroes now. An eagle, Fortress Eagle, if he doesn't already have one, he could invest in that, and the Eagle's Monument. And it just doesn't look good right now for him. Oh, a level 3 Malorn tree is going to go down. This is going to be a big loss. He's got 675. That's his command point limit. It drops by 100 from that. That was a huge loss. And we can see MauHuR attacking with a massive army. The game's pretty much over at this point. Just waiting for the fortress to go down, really. This fortress is extremely well upgraded, though. So Bushit can hold out a little bit longer. I'm not sure why MauHuR doesn't have fire arrows yet, because they would be useful. It at least helps do a little bit of damage to buildings. Yeah, still no fire arrows. You could get those at any time. Only cost 1,000 resources, which is easy for MauHuR to acquire now. He's got 3,000 right now. Losing some units, still has 900 max CP. Bushit has 525. Sending Glorfindel in. I wonder why. That is interesting. Look how many powers. Bushit has every single power charge. He has the flood. He's going to use the flood right now, right on MauHuR's fortress. He's going to summon eagles on the fortress. That is a really interesting attack right there. Sends Glorfindel in for visibility. And now he's going to attack the fortress with Glorfindel. And MauHuR is sending his entire army back, trying to stop this. That is just something he didn't expect. Bushit just waiting for the right moment. And wow, that is paying off. Look how much damage this is doing to the fortress. The eagles are still alive. They're taking heavy damage, but they're still there. And look how much they're losing. And keep in mind, he still has Cloud Break. He's using Cloud Break. Just when I said that. MauHuR is going to lose the fortress. No one can kill Glorfindel right now. And that's it. The fortress is down. The fortress went down and Glorfindel went down. The eagles went down. But MauHuR suddenly loses his fortress. Who saw that coming? I mean, everybody watching was probably just going, yeah, the game's over. It's just a matter of time until MauHuR finishes Bushit. Oh, here comes Bushit and takes out MauHuR's fortress. That was well done. That was well done. All it took really was the eagles and Glorfindel and Flood together do a lot of damage. The Flood actually takes out something like 80% of the health of an unupgraded fortress, but it's a lot less of an upgraded one. Still though, it's a big deal. and the eagle certainly helped, and Glorfindel does a lot of damage. Yep, used all that. MauHuR still has an army, though. Let's look at things now. MauHuR has no powers. He can't use any of his powers until he rebuilds his fortress. And money-wise, he only has 1,600 resources. I don't know if he's already rebuilding a fortress somewhere. I don't think he is. So he needs to save up for that. But he has 714 out of 750 max command points, has lots of units, and he's going to attack bushit with everything he's got now. He's not about to let bushit recover right now. Bushit, again, has almost no units. Slowly rebuilding. He's got Noldors. He did get this barracks to level 3. But yeah, because he took out that fortress, MauHuR cannot use those powers of his. Mouth of Sauron running into pikes there. A bit risky. And he's an aggressive stance too. But really, when you look at it, MauHuR's army here is not that powerful. He's got a few orcs, some Easterlings. Yeah, he has his catapults. And the Mouth of Sauron. And okay, Gothmog as well. Actually, he does have a few archers. But not a lot. But overall, that was pretty devastating. Losing that fortress like that. I'm going to keep an eye on his resources right now. 3,500, he's definitely saving up for his fortress. Because he needs to rebuild that. Bases are really vulnerable without fortresses. But right now, bushit still doesn't have the army power he needs to attack MauHuR. Still has to play defense. Look how many catapults there are. 4 of them attacking this thing. Glorfindel has been reborn, if you will. And he's going to destroy this catapult. Mouth of Sauron is going to interfere. We have an end summon! We have an end summon! Where is it? It's not in his base? I heard that. That was an end summon, right? Wait. No, it's not. Hang on. There was an end summon somewhere. I just don't know where. Oh! He did rebuild his fortress. He rebuilt his fortress right here. I managed to miss it. And now the Ents are going to take it out. So not only did MauHuR lose his starting fortress to that surprise attack, he's going to lose this fortress too. No upgrades or anything because it's just freshly rebuilt. And it's going to go down. The Ents finished it off. That's another 5,000 resources down the drain. And now look at bushit. He actually has a few units to press and attack. MauHuR used darkness to make his units a bit stronger. Uh-oh. There goes Glorfindel. Ran into pikes. Pikes buffed by darkness. That didn't go very well. Still things looking really good for bushit. Game just turned around. How did that happen? And MauHuR again, saving up 2,000 resources. I didn't even realize he was building his fortress here. I tried looking around, but for some reason I didn't see it anywhere. He was building it in a different spot to be unexpected, but bushit figured it out. And look at this bushit just moving forward again, sending more units. MauHuR trying to attack from the left, not really allowing bushit, or trying not to allow bushit to recover his CP here. But he's got 625 now, and he can still build about half of that. Look how many powers he has. He's got all 3 15-point powers. And he can save up for his Sun Flare at some point. MauHuR again, just unable to use powers. This has a huge effect on the game. If you can't use powers, that's really, I think, that's the worst thing about not having a fortress late in the game. Powers are so useful, and not having any is just a big deal. It's not just about base protection. There are other ways to protect your base than a fortress. You can do other things, but yeah, if you don't have the ability to use any powers, and we missed that. This is just the animation showing up late, but that was an arrow volley that took out all those units. We have level 5 Mirkwood Archers upgraded with Silverthorn arrows. Easily repelling that attack. MauHuR still has a few orcs. And suddenly, both players, just with not a lot of units, 254 command points used out of 625 for bushit. Almost no resources left to spare. MauHuR, 284 out of 750. A bit more maximum, but still not a lot of units on the field. But he can't use powers, which gives bushit a big advantage. He does have the signal fire, but it's not going to be useful until he gets his fortress back. And he's probably rebuilding it by now. He has to be. Yeah, if he has no resources, he must have already started rebuilding it somewhere. And there it is. And this time he is going to build it in his base, where it's probably safer. It's going to be harder for bushit to get to it, unless he summons Ents again. Very powerful ability, that one. It's actually one of the reasons I think we need to nerf the Flood, because the Flood does a huge amount of damage. Like an unupgraded fortress like MauHuR's, when it's done, it's going to lose 80% of its health if the Flood is cast on top of it. Then if you summon Ents, it's going to be extremely easy to finish it off. So it's just too much of a powerful combination for Elves. Just from 2 powers. I don't think any other faction has that much destructive capability in terms of destroying fortresses just from 2 powers. And look at this. How is MauHuR supposed to kill this army when it contains so many Noldors and Mirkwood archers? Although he does have... Actually, there are those catapults. The Glorfindel is probably going to head after them right now. This is one of his main uses right now, just chasing down catapults. And he can 2-hit them pretty effectively. Actually, bushit took heavy damage from their attacks so far. But he's still moving in to control the center. MauHuR just trying to hold it, but it's not really working out. bushit building more hobbits. The Sin still destroyed. And yeah, that's the situation right now. bushit now controls the signal fire, which is going to give him a huge advantage since he can actually use his powers. Actually, so can MauHuR. His fortress is done. And now MauHuR, he does have Barrage. He's halfway done with Rain of Fire. Worm almost charged. He could combine all 3 of those if he wants to wait, but he's not. He's going to deal with bushit's army right now. But he lost a lot of his own units, it seems, trying to. bushit's army's gone. At least the one in the center here. Now he's going to have to rebuild. Let's take a look at his... He's got 350... Uh-oh. Haldir's dying. I think I heard... Was that... I think that was the Fortress Eagle that was built. But yeah, he has 330 command points out of 825. A big maximum, but he needs to rebuild his army. Flood almost charged. Ents pretty close. Eagles already charged. We might see that combo again. I feel like that combo is a bit too powerful. Like I said, just Flood and Ents alone are just devastating. Let alone you add Eagles on top of that. You add Cloud Break for stunning. But yeah, that's how things can go. 18 points. He could get Sunflare soon. Just to add more damage. MauHuR at 14 points. 11 more till his Balrog. If he gets there. I am expecting at this point bushit to try another surprise attack. Look how close he is. He's really saving up his powers. I'm going to stick to his view for a second. 2,500 resources too. He could build Elrond or something. Come on. Elrond's nice. He's a good hero. We still have this Fortress Eagle. Of course, it's a Fortress Eagle, so it's permanent. It won't disappear after some time. And yeah, these powers are almost charged. Let's just quickly swap to MauHuR. 474 needs to rebuild his army. Has no money. But bushit doesn't have a lot of units either. But he has powers, and they're charged. MauHuR has the Worm, and that's really it in terms of useful powers that are destructive in nature. And look at this. bushit's ready. He might wait until he gets some of his units closer to the enemy base, but he doesn't really have a lot, so it might not really work out if that's his plan. But really, if he finds where the fortress is, he could just do a repeat of that strategy again. And can MauHuR actually do something about this? This is really a game of powers. And bushit had the advantage on that. He really did. Glorfindel probably trying to scout a little bit with the Eagle. See if he can discover something. Or do some damage, but yeah, they're getting attacked. And 3 points till Sunflare. We could see that too. If MauHuR does mass an army to attack, yeah, it could go down really fast. I heard that. And there it is, right on MauHuR's base. And this time it's not his fortress, it's his main unit production buildings. We have an End summon right here on the left. Flood took out most of the base. Eagle summon as well. I think I heard a Worm being summoned. MauHuR trying to retaliate to attack those units. But look how much damage is being done. Soon there's going to be nothing really left other than the fortress. Oh yeah, the Worm summon. Great great worm summon to take out the Ents. That's where it was summoned, and it definitely worked out. Bushit has 25 points. He can get Sunflare. MauHuR does have his fortress, and he's not going to lose it this time. Well, he's not to these powers. But huge amount of damage done. And uh-oh, Glorfindel heals really quickly. That was a good use of heal. You have Starlight, I think that was used. Yep. He's going to fight it out with the Eye of Sauron, which takes out the eagle with its Evil Eye ability. And another good use of Arrow Volley. Brings down a whole bunch of Farajim archers. Glorfindel will move back to safety where his other units are. And MauHuR also uses Arrow Volley. Takes out most of those Morkwood archers. And again, both sides here. MauHuR barely has any forces. 188 command points. But he has 825 despite Bushit's attacks here. There's still a lot of slaughterhouses that basically got ignored. As Bushit tried to focus on the core of MauHuR's base. And Bushit has 900 command points, pretty close, and 170 actually used. So both players kind of even, but there's a lot of resources available to be spent, as you can see. MauHuR has the Rain of Fire, but he can't do any crazy combos the way Bushit did, when he was saving all his powers together. We have Sunflare. Bushit can use Sunflare at any time if MauHuR shows up with an army. And this game continues. And we have more units on their way. Mouth of Sauron forced to retreat. Glorfindel also retreating. Might need to fast forward a little bit as we wait to see what the players are doing because they're recovering. The game is running a bit long at this point. I usually start fast forwarding when the game gets lengthy and whenever there's just a pause in the action. But Bushit is coming in on the left with quite a few units. You have Farajim archers right there. They're going to try to stop them. And some more units on the right with the eagle. So again, Bushit is the one being aggressive right now. MauHuR is just forced to try to hold him off. And really, just like single units of orcs are not going to be useful anymore at this point in the game. Rain of Fire still not used, but Barrage is almost charged. They could be combined effectively. If MauHuR could mount some kind of an attack force and use those two powers on Bushit's base, it could be very devastating. But he's going to have a few problems to deal with. Bushit is using 562 command points now. MauHuR a little bit behind, but catching up. Actually, use 2 points from the Balrog. That could be a nice combo. Rain of Fire, Barrage, Balrog. Rain of Fire and Barrage could take out all the fortress defenses, do a lot of damage to the base, and the Balrog could do a lot more damage to what's left. $25 points, you know what that means. And Bushit again, waiting for his powers to charge, not really using them. I guess he wants to combo them again. And great catapult attack with those archers being stuck in that small area. Clumped close together. And we have the Balrog has been purchased. MauHuR could mount an attack right now. Just send the Mouth of Sauron for visibility. And the Mouth of Sauron is up here. The signal fire under the control of MauHuR. I'm just sticking to MauHuR's view because I don't want to miss when he actually summons the Balrog. This could be an interesting combo. But the problem is Mordor's forces are just inferior to the Elven ones. They can't really take them on. And this is just making MauHuR's life really difficult right now. Maybe some Black Orcs, they can be a bit more resistant. They'll still go down really fast to Mirkwood archers. MauHuR controlling the center, but not so much on the left. By being in porcupine formation, these Mythlon sentries are a lot harder to kill. And these archers seem to be focusing on them instead of the eagle. Now they're all going to go down. Not good for MauHuR. And oh, we have Barrage. Not used to attack Bush's base, but instead to kill this army. He still has Rain of Fire, still has Balrog. Darkness is charged. He has... Okay, we just saw Industry used. But he has Arrow Volley. His Worm is almost charged. Bushit actually building some towers. He actually has a tower with Mirkwood archers trying to hold the right side. Just hold on to, just basically have map control. At least on the right. MauHuR really controls the center and he's moving down. He's actually approaching Bush's base right now. He's already attacking it on this side. He's attacking these Malorn trees. And now would be a good time to see something. Rain of Fire, Balrog. You could do a lot of damage. See, those powers could take out Bushit's whole base here. Well, not his fortress. That's probably going to survive. But even if it does, if Bushit loses everything else, he can't build any units for a while. And MauHuR will be in a good position. And apparently the Sunflare ability was actually used here. I kind of missed it. But killed MauHuR's army. Maybe MauHuR was planning an attack. And oh, Bushit's actually attacking here. Doing a lot of damage. Why hasn't MauHuR tried an attack? He has the Balrog. He has all these things. And instead, it's Bushit doing a lot of damage again. We have that combo once again. Everything used at once, except for the Eagles, which is still haven't been used. MauHuR retaliates to the end summon with a Worm. Good idea to save it for this situation. But just MauHuR has not been using his 25-point powers. And Bushit actually picks up the ring. I do wonder if we're going to see 25-point powers being used here. And if we look at things, Bushit has his command point limit is quite low now, 635, and he's almost maxed out. And he's using up his resources. Actually has every power, I think. I think he has every single one at this point. Meanwhile, MauHuR, huge command point limit, well below it. Needs to build up his troops. Has lots of resources. And the fighting is just continuing here. And time for a fast forward again. Bushit just attacking with small forces on the left, but on the right here it has some Mirkwood archers, Noldors, Pikes, and Glorfindel and Haldir. The Mouth of Sauron seems to be harassing or maybe gaining visibility for an attack. Maybe? Maybe? MauHuR is coming from the left and from... Well, he has one Easterling here. Why hasn't he used his powers yet? I don't understand that. What is he waiting for exactly? And I heard the flood again. Are we going to see... Can he already have a combo? No. He has the Eagles, though. Still waiting for MauHuR to use 25-point powers in this game. I mean, he used Rain of Fire once before, I think, and that's it. And of course I moved away right when the animation started. I don't know. Was Rain of Fire really useful there? Was that kind of overkill? I feel like attacking Bushit's base would buy MauHuR the most time. Rather than just trying to kill a few units that can easily be replaced and sent back to attack, right? I mean, at this point, Bushit's economy is strong enough to just rebuild his units pretty fast. And yes, bases can be rebuilt too, but it takes some time. The Mouth of Sauron moving in, getting closer. Industry again. And he's going to take back the signal fire, which is now under the control of bushit. MauHuR actually took the inn, finally. And he has the level 2 Harajin Ballast there. Still waiting for the Balrog to be used at some point. Barrage is almost charged. Barrage and Balrog could be a good combo. Because Barrage could take out these fortress expansions, which could do a lot of damage to the Balrog otherwise. And here we go again. Eagle Summon and the Fortress Eagle somewhere. Yep. Because there's 3 of them. Only explanation. They're going to retreat a bit. And 2 heroes. There's so much damage being done. Still don't understand why the Balrog has not been used yet. I mean, what exactly is MauHuR waiting for? Perfect moments don't really exist. I mean, sure, there might be a better situation to use the Balrog than the current one, but there's no guarantee you'll get that better situation in the game. And a Balrog can destroy an army and a base. I mean, right now, he could just summon it right on top of these guys, take them out, go down, take out the Mirkwood archers. I don't know. Actually, can he even fly down to the base from there? Probably not immediately. The thing with the Balrog's flight is that you can't just fly across the map. So if you summon it really far away from the target base, then yeah, you could be screwed. We have level 1 Nazgul, just Fell Beast, just standing there. Bushit slowly recharging his powers. 685 maximum command points, 390 used. And MauHuR still waiting for the Balrog, still waiting for Barrage. 348 out of 700. Another Cloud Break. An arrow volley. And Bushit didn't notice it. And there goes his army. Still hard to tell what's going to happen. Just a bit of fast forwarding. I see the Fell Beast has been getting a bit of experience. Finding pikes to attack, which can't fight back. You still have the Mirkwood Archer in the tower. And uh-oh. Oh, that is damaging. Their attack range, just insane. I'm still waiting for another major assault by the players. Again, Bushit has every single power. MauHuR just 1 short. Still waiting for the Balrog, and he has Barrage. Come on, attack the base, do something. And Bushit attacking on the left. MauHuR is going to try to hold off from this attack. Now we're just seeing slaughterhouses and Malorn trees right beside each other. Just both players expanding everywhere. And actually, if we look at the CP limit, 616 out of 800 for Bushit, 1900 resources. 1400, 364 out of 650 for MauHuR. So yeah, it's really difficult. Like if you look at the situation, I guess Bushit has a bit of an advantage. And he's definitely doing a lot of damage to MauHuR. But MauHuR has some nice powers charged. Still waiting for them to be used. The thing that's worked really well for Bushit was just using his powers and comboing them at the first chance. But MauHuR is not really doing that. And he's used a lot of destructive powers defensively just to protect, his units and buildings from destruction. But the problem is he's only really just slowing down Bushit a little bit with a power that takes a really, really long time to recharge. You don't have many opportunities to use 25-point powers, right? Or 15-point powers. You might as well try to do as much damage as you can when you can use them. And again, the team here of Haldir and Glorfindel, both level 10. Always together. Doing a lot of damage. And MauHuR manages to hold this area, even builds a barricade for extra protection. Or didn't build a barricade, you know, he summoned it with the power. Actually, is that the last power? Did he get it? Or did he have that before? No, he had that before. Still waiting for stuff to charge. But he really has a, like, he could combo this pretty well. Meanwhile, bushit, he's pretty close to his combo as well. And we're gonna see something really interesting, I bet. The problem is bushit has the advantage in terms of the strength of his army. So it's not hard for him to just kill MauHuR's units and advance to MauHuR's base. And then if you combine that with some great powers being used on MauHuR's buildings, which is the one thing Elves can't really do very effectively by spamming archers to take out buildings, then, you know, the game could be sealed for MauHuR, and bushit could win this. Right now, things are looking very good for him, because MauHuR has not been able to really solidly attack bushit for a while, although I still think he could use some powers to really turn things around. We have a worm that was summoned to do some stuff, but it's going to die in a second. Yep, it's down. bushit did lose his tower, but he's still holding that right side of the map. MauHuR solidly controlling the left. Well, top left. So really, bushit has more map control. Well, nah, bushit has about half the map. At least if that's a MauHuR tree, yep. It's about half, actually, but on the right side he's advancing, so really he does have more. And MauHuR doesn't really have much to actually stop him. And the reason I think he's advancing right now is because he has stuff charged. There we go again. See? We knew that was going to happen. We have another flood, takes out lots of buildings. Barricade used quickly, and summon, and now he's going to, bushit's going to attack with the rest of his forces. We have a rain of fire, again used defensively. It does a lot of damage, almost kills Haldir. Kills a lot of units. But bushit is just going to attack this base with everything. Cloud Break used quickly to try to buy himself more time. This Ent is still alive, but it's going to go down in a second. Too late though, because MauHuR lost his fortress, and that's it. This is going to end because he has the siege works. I'm not sure what else he actually has, and this game might just end right now. I think he has a little bit on the left, but recovering from this damage. Again, I have not seen that Balrog used, and now he doesn't have access to it anymore. If you're about to lose your fortress, just use the Balrog. You're going to lose access to it in a second anyway, right? Might as well. But there's so many opportunities here that MauHuR had, I think. Great use of Evil Eye. But right now, MauHuR is just in bad shape. bushit did lose basically everything that he had in his attack force, except apparently Glorfindel. But he can recover very fast from that. Still waiting for Galadriel. We do know he's controlled. He's had the ring for quite some time. And MauHuR once again in a position where he needs to rebuild his fortress. He can almost afford a new one. And here we go again, right? And this is what we're going to see. This is a Clan Wars game. I don't think they're going to give up too easily. Either player here. They might fight it out for as long as it takes. So let's fast forward a little bit. bushit again attacking. His left side still solidly under control of MauHuR. The right still, well, under the control of bushit. This one tower is really a problem. The tower kills the one thing that's supposed to destroy the tower really easily. Thanks to the Mirkwood Archers inside it that were upgraded. And see, bushit again, he already has a few units to conduct an attack. And what was that? Was that, did I just see the Mouth of Sauron's level 10? Yeah, we did. I was wondering what was happening for a second. And just, yeah, bushit's just mopping up the map right now, just cleaning it up of anything that looks red. Or it's not really red, it's more of a pink. MauHuR's color. And he's going to rebuild his fortress in the strongest remaining part of the map. And what a bad time for Glorfindel to show up when it's at 10%, less than 10%. But he's not going to attack it. Not yet. He's going to show up with an army first. And here comes Rallying Call. And this is really like the last place where MauHuR really has control. He still has a siege works over there, but that's easy enough for bushit to deal with. And bushit has an army here. And it's going to attack everything. Evil Eye. Lots of damage. And look how much damage that is. And that's at 40%, and yet it's almost dead. Because so much damage is dealt to it. And that's it. The fortress is down. 5,000 resources, and that's it. MauHuR concedes defeat. And the game is over. And there was a point in this game where I was sure that MauHuR had it. That he was going to finish off bushit. And then it turns out, nope. Not the case. Definitely a great game. I can't remember if I mentioned the name of the map, but it's West Emnet 2, I think. And yeah, it's an interesting map, I have to say. And this was an interesting game. It was really fun to watch, really fun to cast. This is Phoenix, and I'll see you guys next time.